Ẹ kú dédé wòyí ní gbogbo lẹ́tẹ̀ tí ń gbọ́ mi lọ́sàn-án ti tòní. Ẹ kú fọmọnìyàn ṣe ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí àtàgbé ètò. Yóò mọ dùn ní kò ní kan lágbára Èdùmàrè. Orí àgbàgbé ètò là ń wọlé sí lọ́sàn-án ti tòní. Mo kí yín tẹ̀ṣọ́, mo kí yín tológun. Mo fi yọ ọmọlúàbí, mo fi kí gbogbo èèyàn ọmọlúàbí tí ń bẹ lórí ètò yìí lónìí. Lónìí náà la máa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìgbéyàwó àná àti ìgbéyàwó tòní. Ètò yìí ọ̀nà méjì ni ó gbé èdè Yorùbá mo fi ń wọlé yìí, á máa ṣèdè ìbò nínú rẹ̀ tí ó máa dùn lákọ̀ tí ó sì máa lọ. Tí wọlé àlejò mi ti wà nínú ilé agodo ọkọ àti ìyàwó ní ti orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ọmọ Èmùrè Èkìtì ni wọ́n, tá a bá ń pè Èkìtì ẹ mọ̀ pé Èkìtì kété àwọn náà ni wọ́n ń bẹ lójú òpó ètò yìí. Á rí pé orin bàbá wa Elémùrè Ògúnyẹmí náà ni mo fi ń ṣíde ètò lọ́sàn-án ti tòní. Pé bàbá wa ní Iléyá, arúgbó ọmọ Èkìtì tí ń bẹ l'Amẹ́ríkà, tí ń bẹ ládé, tí ń bẹ n'Íbàdàn, tí ń bẹ l'Ékòó. Iléyá ẹ jẹ́ gbádùn ẹ̀ díẹ̀ sí ká tó wọlé sórí àtàgbé yìí. Èmi náà bá Èkìtì tán, mo bẹ́ Èkìtì tán torí Èkìtì níyàwó mi. Èkìtì mo ti lọ mú yàwó. Mo kí wọn nílẹ̀ Èkìtì, mo kí yín ládó, mo kí yín ní Èmùrè, mo kí ní gbogbo Èkìtì pátápátá, gbogbo Èkìtì kété, mo kí yín lọ́sàn-án ti tòní. Pé àjọmọ̀ ṣètò yìí náà ni o. Ẹ̀yin tí wọlé sórí àtàgbé ètò yìí, ẹ máa bá ń ṣíà ètò yìí, ẹ mọ̀ pájọ ṣe wa ni. Ẹ máa comment, ẹ máa like, ẹ máa ṣíà, ẹ máa dáta lógúnlógún, ẹ máa dìmọ̀ lọ́gbọ̀n. Ẹ jẹ́ àjọ ṣe páwọn àgbà ní wọn abájìjọ rò wọ́n ní gẹ́gẹ́ yìí. Òun náà ni àjọrò wa rèé, ṣe máa ní kò sì ní bàjẹ́ fẹ́ ní ọ̀pọ̀ kàkà kó rẹ̀wọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ọlọ́fẹ́ báyìí láàmú tá a fi gbéra. Ó tó jọ́ méjì tọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta kan tí mo ti wá sórí òpó ètò gbẹ̀yìn. Èyí ò ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ayẹyẹ òpin ọdún àti ìfi oyè dáhùn èèyàn lọ́lá ṣe ní ọjọ́ Thursday tó kọjá. Mo fi àdìkò yìí dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn pátápátá ìlú. Mo dúpẹ́ pé òkú lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá wa ṣe, ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́, ẹ̀yin ará, ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́, ẹ̀yin afẹ́nifẹ́re, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fowó bá wa lọ, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fọlá bá wa lọ, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jáde tẹ́ wá fi tiyín tẹ́ fi gbé tiwa lárugẹ. Mo dúpẹ́ pé òkú lọ́wọ́ yín, ojú òní tì yín, ìbàjẹ́ òní bẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan yín, ní dààmú lágbára Èdùmàrè, ìbàjẹ́ òní bá yín, ojú kì í tọjọ́, ojú òní tì yín lágbára Èdùmàrè. Mo dúpẹ́, mo mọ̀ lóore. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wọlé sójú òpó ètò pátápátá, mo dúpẹ́ pé òkú lọ́wọ́ yín, mo dúpẹ́ pé òkú lọ́wọ́ yín, ibi òní bá yín, ojú òní tì yín, ní dààmú lágbára Èdùmàrè. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín pátápátá. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Double Chief Akin Williams. Double Chief Akin Williams, ọjọ́ Sunday tó ń bọ̀ yìí náà ni ọjọ́ ìbí Double Chief Akin Williams. Until 26 December náà ni Boxing Day. Òun náà ni ọjọ́ ìbí Double Chief Akin Williams. Double Chief Akin Williams lórí the African Portal. Akin pé ẹ kú ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ bí àṣeyímọ̀ ṣàbọ̀ lágbára Èdùmàrè. Double Chief at 60 ó máa lárinrin gan. Ẹ jáde kẹtúyàyà kẹjáde gbogbo lórin ẹtúyàyà kẹjá jọ ṣe. Dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín pátápátá. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá síbi ayẹyẹ wa, àdúpẹ́ ojú òní bá rẹ̀. Ìtọ́ òní tánwó yín, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fún wa lówó, bàbá wa Ọlọ́run lóko, ojú òní tì yín. La boss ní dààmú, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá wa ṣe ní dààmú lágbára Èdùmàrè. Ọlánìkì ní dààmú, gbogbo yín pátápátá. Yẹ́máìtì gbogbo yín ni mo kí tí mo sì nà lọ́gọ̀ ẹnu. Gbogbo yín pátápátá náà ládùpẹ́ pé òkú lọ́wọ́ yín. Kàkà kó rẹ̀ wá ìwé ọlọ́fẹ́ báyìí láàmú tá a fi gbéra. Ẹ jẹ́ jẹ̀gbádùn orin yìí díẹ̀ sí ká tó wọlé sórí àtàgbé ètò yìí lónìí. Yóò mọ dùn ni kò ní kan lágbára Èdùmàrè. Ẹ fòrin jẹ̀gbádùn díẹ̀ sí ká tó wá wọlé sórí ètò yìí lójú pálí lójú ìjọsìn.
Okay. Number what?
Two.
Two. That would be number one now. It will slow down.
You live now on the African Portal. To my guests, you are already live now. Please, we need other talking up behind the scene as we are already live on the African Portal Radio. Please, live now. We are live now. Baba Lamin, we are live now. Thank you so much, those of you joining us. Welcome to the African Portal Radio TV International, your one-stop media house where everyone have a say. Let me use this time to welcome everyone to this broadcast this hour. Welcome. This is your one-stop media house where everyone have a say. We're coming to you live from Pretoria here in South Africa. Let me greet everyone. No matter you speak, no matter your time zone, I greet you. Africa, Dumela, Ashe. In northern part of Africa, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi muchana, Abarisa muchana to everyone in eastern part of Africa. In English-speaking country, hello. In French-speaking country, bonjour. In Portuguese-speaking country, we greet and we say obrigado to every one of you. In Yoruba land, we greet you. We say Ekso. In Igbo, Kedu, and in Nakwana, we greet everyone no matter where you are in Yoruba land. Eka se ku dede wo ye ku boju ojo se ri e ku fomo niyan se. Èmi náà ni ọmọ yín ọ̀rẹ́ yín olólùfẹ́ yín Olúdáre Olúsanmọ olùṣọ́ àgùntàn Samuel Olúṣẹ́gun Olúsan. Ọba Dámọ́ntàn fọmọkùnrin bọ̀lẹ̀bọ̀lẹ̀ ọmọ sísè tó sọ̀rọ̀ kárí bíi kọ́lé sí ọmọ oníyàn ọjọ́ kẹfà tí ń ṣe eruku lẹ́lẹ́tòjọ́ orí tiẹ̀ jẹ. Láti lè yá mi lògì nípa bí ẹ̀kún bá bà mí ò sí nílà ajá sọ ti bá ń bẹ́ ńlẹ̀ adúgbò ẹran fún mi jẹ. Ọmọ orí molú sì lèmi ọmọ ajé fọ́ ọ̀rẹ́ ṣe tẹ̀jẹ́ fọwọ́ ṣe tí ó jẹ. Ọlọ́run ọba ló gbé akalẹ̀ ọba aláàánú ọba olórí ọ̀fẹ́. Ọba fúnni má ṣìlẹ̀kùn afẹ́fẹ́ lẹ́fẹ́lẹ́ ọ̀sálù ayé òrìṣà mi nìjọ̀yọ̀ tí ń ṣe olódì ọ̀sálù ọ̀run. Ọba lórí ayé gbogbo ọba tó láàánú ọba tó ní mi ọba tó mọ tájẹ ọba tó mọ tádọ̀ ọba tó mọ̀ ní. Ìlú Ìbàdàn náà ti bí lọ́mọ Ìbàdàn ní Olúyọ̀lé Ìbàdàn níbi olè ti ń jàre oníkan ìlú Ìbíkúnlé alágbàlá ológòdó kẹ̀rí lójú ogun. Wọ́n lébọ̀ lẹ́yìn Jagunlabi ńlára wájú Ìbàdàn mọ́jà tó fi kọ́ra wájú tó fi kó wọn lẹ́rú ọmọ agbósásá mọ́sá ọmọ ayàyàyà mọ́yà mo kí ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ ní gbogbo ìlú mo kí lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ Èkó arómisá lẹ́gbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ mo kí ládó mo kí lẹ́kìtì gbogbo ìkẹtàpátá mo kì í lé mùrè mo kì í ní gbogbo pátá níbi tán ti ń sọ Yorùbá níbo gbogbo tẹ́wé ti ń jẹ́ níbo tán ti ń sọ ẹ káàárọ̀ gbogbo tán ti ń jàmàlà mo kì í o ẹ káàsán mo kì í ládó mo kì í nífẹ̀ẹ́ o dáyé níbi tí ojúmọ́ rẹ dájá tó ń gbèdí ọ̀tẹ̀ tán lẹ́mọ́lẹ̀ pẹ̀rẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ mo kí wọn lọ́yọ̀ọ́ alákẹ́ Ọ̀yọ́ ọmọ Òṣogbo pàṣẹkẹrẹ ọmọ Àtìbà ẹnu mi àgò Ọ̀yọ́ pàṣẹkẹrẹ ọmọ Àtìbà mo kí bàbá ikú bàbá yèyé ọmọ kú tí kò lè pa láíláí ọba Adéyẹmí bàbá mo kí yín omojúbà kábíyèsí láàfin mo ṣèbà orí adé mo sì ṣèbà pòtẹ ìjókòó lé lórí mo kí ní gbogbo ìlú pátápátá mo kí ní àwọn ibi tí wọ́n wà ní Brazil ní Cuba ní gbogbo ibi tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá kan fi ṣe ìjókòó pátápátá ó kí ní Ìsẹ́yìn Òrò ọmọ Ẹ̀bẹ̀dìmọ̀kọ mo sì kí yín ní Ifẹ̀ mo kí gbogbo Yorùbá pátápátá mo kí yín o mo fi tọmọkédé mo fi tàgbà ṣe mo kágbà mo kọmọdé mo káṣán mo ká ọ̀tàn bẹnu léyìí àgbà òní tán lórílẹ̀ lára ìdùnnú mo kí yín o Mr. and Mrs. Adébọ̀wálé mo kí yín mo sì nà yín lọ bàbá ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí àtàgbé ètò yìí mo kí yín mo fi ọmọlúwàbí mo fi wọ̀ yín mo fi bí ẹ ti wá mo fi wọ̀ yín mo fòye tẹ́ ẹ dìbò mo fi wọ̀ yín orí adé tẹ́ ẹ jókòó lé mo fi rọ̀ yín mo fi gbogbo ń tẹ́ fi ń jẹ́ ìfarapátá náà mo fi dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín bàbá mi àmọ́ ṣe Yorùbá àmọ́ ṣe lédè èbó lónìí yóò dùn gbogbo yóò kàn sí tí á jẹ́ ìgbádùn ara wa lórí ètò yìí ẹ̀yin tí ń wọlé ẹ̀ máa bá ń ṣí ètò yìí àti ìṣe ojú òpó kalẹ̀ tí ìpè mí ní ìsinyìí ojú òpó ti wà ṣíṣílẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ń gbàlejò mi wọlé sójú òpó kí n gbọ́ látọ̀dọ̀ wọn ẹ dẹ́ mọ̀ pé òrógun ọmọ ajílàlá ọ̀sọ́ ọmọ ajífọjọ́ gbogbo dára bí egbè mo kí yín mo sì kí yín láì jáde lóró tó kúrò tọ̀fà mo kí yín mo nà yín lọ́gbẹ̀ẹ́nu bàbá mi ẹ káàsán ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí àtàgbé ètò yìí ẹ bá káwọn èèyàn wa ti ń gbọ́ yín lé.
Ẹ káàsán gbogbo àwọn etí tí ó ń gbọ́ wa nílé. Ṣé àlàáfíà lẹ wà o? Bí àwa náà ti wà níhìn. Ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣeun bàbá. Ojú òní tì yín, mo kàn fẹ́ kẹ́ fi Yorùbá kẹ́ fi kí àwọn èèyàn wa tí ń gbọ́ yín lé ní kó tó di pé ń wọlé sédè èèbó ní pọ́nbélé táwọn sọ èyí ní pọrangidi. Torí ètò nǹkan tá a wá ṣe lónìí nǹkan tó lágbára ni. Ìgbéyàwó àná àti ìgbéyàwó òní, kí ni ìyàtọ̀ láàrin wọn? Kí ló dé tí ìgbéyàwó tòní tí wọ́n wá di n tó ẹ̀yin rèé, ẹ ti wà nù ìgbéyàwó ilẹ̀ ta sí bàbá, ẹ ti wà nù ìgbéyàwó tá a bá ní àká ní méjì mẹ́ta 50 years in marriage. Bó o lẹ ṣe ṣe ìgbéyàwó òde òní òdi àárọ̀ látàárọ̀ pa tó dọ̀sán ìgbéyàwó ti túká àwọn nǹkan tá a mọ yẹ̀wò nù ṣùgbọ́n èdè òyìnbó ni wọ́n fi ṣe ètò yìí lọ́sàn-án ti tòní kó lè bá yí àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n gbọ́ èdè nígbà. Those of you listening to us, thank you very much. I'm just, I love my language. I love to be Yoruba and I love to be myself. But unfortunately, our form of communication in English so that we can it can come across because my guest in the studio is a continental person and is a international. So for every other people to have opportunity to understand the conversation and what we'll be talking about today, I'm going to speak more of English on this program this hour. But I welcome every one of you on board as we'll be discussing the issue that have to do with life. What is the problem with the marriage of today? What is the difference between the marriage of today and the marriage of today? Why marriage of today get lost like the way it used to be for the marriage of yesterday? So I use opportunity to welcome you to the African Portal. I celebrate you. I celebrate your achievements and I celebrate who you are. I welcome you to the African Portal. We're coming to you live from Victoria here, South Africa. Mommy, I welcome you as well, ma. You are so great, mommy. You look so. I welcome you once again, mommy. Bless you. God bless you. Thank you for taking care of daddy. I can see your hands, daddy's body. Mommy, thank you very much. You will live long for us, mommy. Thank you so much. Mommy, let me use opportunity to let you introduce yourself to the guests, to the listeners at home as my guest on this program this hour.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Producer. I am Mrs. Alice Emmanul Ogungshemoyin ní Ubrufi. I come from Isoko land in Delta State. And I thank you for giving us this opportunity to share our time with people. I also thank those of you who are listening to us now.
Mommy, thank you very, very much, mommy. No, a lot of people are on the line listening to you, and those of you joining us, please share this program, comment, like, share it is very important. Let it go viral because the more you share it, the more you give this show, this program opportunity to go viral. So please share this program. Mommy, I celebrate you, and I'm going to start this conversation with you, mommy. I'm going to engage you before I connect with daddy. You are from Isoko. Isoko is in Delta State of Nigeria, one of the oil producing area in Nigeria. Mommy, what does it mean to, what is the definition of marriage if we want to look at it from the content of the old and the new? What is the definition?
Well, marriage to me is a union of two people, man and woman, who have chosen to spend their time together, to love and cherish each other, and to be companion for life through the ceremony we undergo. That makes it into marriage. So marriage makes that friendship, which otherwise would have been a come and go thing, into something that is permanent.
Wow. I love that definition. Let me go back to Daddy. Daddy, I really appreciate you, and I want to thank you for giving us opportunity to have this conversation with you and also to enlighten the current generation, because you are one of the old generation that believe in marriage and that believe in togetherness, that believe in what South Africa call Ubuntu. Ubuntu we have because you have. That is Ubuntu. Sir, what is the definition of marriage to you, sir?
Marriage, I look at, thank you for the question. The marriage, the way I understand it, is a, permanent way of becoming one. When you marry your loved one, and you want to keep that friendship for life. And to do this, a lot of things happen that other people may not know if you don't talk out. But all in all, I thank God that I met my life partner over 50 years ago. And that friendship that started then is still raging, and we are still together. And I pray that we stay together as friends, as lovers, as a couple, wife and husband for the rest of our life. Thank you.
Thank you, Daddy. I love that. I love that. You got married now for 50 years ago. That's a very long time ago. So that is about 5 decades. And so what does it mean to be with one woman for the last 50 years? Some people say that it's not an easy task to be with a woman for that long. So what is your experience like? And what do you want to share with this current generation?
Yeah. Thank you. Like I said in my introduction, marriage, as a matter of fact, is part of you. That person take as wife, if you're a man, or that person you take as husband, if you're a woman. There's an adage in Yoruba that ìyàwó tá bá pàdé nílé ijó, àwọn olórin ló máa bá lọ. But thank God, I did not meet her the dancing floor, and that is why we are still together. The problem, the difference between the time of old and now is that we don't have enough patience, especially men. You meet today, you want to get married tomorrow. Whereas you come from different backgrounds, yourself and your lover. Before you consummate marriage, you got to watch one another. What will this person accept as a norm? Or what it will repel when you say anything about that? We did this, myself and my wife did this. That's what they call a courtship. The courtship period was for 2 years before we got wedded 50 years ago. So we've known each other for 52 years now, by special grace of God. So you need to exercise some patience and find out about your partner, what she or he can tolerate, what you just have to learn who this person is. That is my lover. Either way, before you make a decision that, okay, you are ready to tie the knot. Once you tie the knot, It's like you meet your sister, you meet your brother. Though occasions, like I said, may arise when one will be angry over what I call petty things, but the other one should maintain a cool head. One should be a sheep, because sheep does not get angry easily like a he-goat, if I can put it that way. So once you meet, you study each other. If your behavior, your actions tally with the other, then you proceed to say, okay, be my wife or be my husband. Anybody can. And that is what we did 52 years ago, to studying, all together. What the actual marriage took place 50 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daddy. I really appreciate that. I didn't give you opportunity to introduce yourself to people. Mommy already do that. Mommy already introduced herself. Mommy already tell us that she's from Isoko in Delta State. Daddy, I see that you give us about òwe Yorùbá kó tó ṣe bí òwe ẹ̀yà àgbà pé ìyàwó tá a bá fi ijó fẹ́ ijó náà ni ó bá lọ. Daddy, you are Yorùbá. That means there's no doubt about that, because the name already make it clear, because our language, I mean, there is no other person that is bearing Adebowale in all over the world, and there is nobody bearing Adeshemoyin, because there is no language that is speaking it. I know you are Yoruba. Tell us a bit about the background. Yes, sir. Ogunshimoyin. Okay. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, sir. Where are you from, Daddy? And tell us a bit about your background and where you.
Yeah, thank you once again. My name is Adebowale Ogungshemoyin. I'm from Emmanul in Ekiti State. What else do I tell you? Like, I'm a Yoruba by name. I act.
Yes, yeah. Daddy, tell us a bit about the journey, about your journey, the school, the position, and some certain position that you've been through.
Yeah, I started school late. Like, I got to about 14 years before I started school. So I was already moving towards adulthood. But that is what I call what do you call this thing now? Yeah, I'll tell you later. I started school very late. But again, I made use of
Ekwagba.
No, really, primary school. When Chief Awolowo declared free education in 1955, and I went to St. Thomas's School in Ekiti. From there, after primary 6, I went to St. Peter's Catholic Secondary Modern School in Ekiti. But I spent only 1 year there before I moved on to Emre Grammar School. And after 5 years of study, I passed out from the school. In those days, things were still okay, educationally. I was appointed as a teacher, one of the teachers, the same school, even before the arrival of my West African school certificate, which came later, maybe about 4 years of my working there. I mean, 4 months, pardon me, about my working there. And I got my result. I thank God I made it through. But 2 months after, that's about 6 months into teaching in Emmanul Grammar School, I became nostalgic simply because all my mates and those people I know were the same class, have left the whole area. Majority of them left for Lagos, where the civilization was. And after 6 months, I tendered my resignation letter to my principal then, late Chief P.A. Ogundepe. And I went to Lagos to take up a federal government job at Ministry of Communication. I was there when I met my wife. Then the arrangement was made, courtship started, and we got married 2 years after. A year into the wedding or marriage life, we had a baby, who is now I call my mother. I go further in my education. I went to Canada to acquire more knowledge. 5 years after, normally my wife joined me a year after I entered school in Canada. After 5 years of studying, I finished. Then I returned to Nigeria to serve my fatherland. That's the whole show as far as education and working is concerned. Then another phase of life began with my family, that is my wife, my child. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Daddy, I really appreciate that. I'll take you through that so that we can grab where it was drawn to from Emure, go to Isoko to go and take mommy. Because, now you let us see that the tribe where we come from have nothing to do when we're ready to serve. The religion have nothing to do, and the background have nothing to do. When there is love, we can marry, no matter the country or the language or the background. Daddy, I really appreciate that. But Daddy, tell us a bit, how is the journey like? How do you get mommy?
What I would say is by faith. Faith in the sense that there was this evening, I was resting in front of my hired apartment. Then this girl came around and she was looking for an accommodation in Lagos because she came to Lagos to do another higher grade of nursing. She approached me despite the fact that we have never been met, we have never met before. She approached me. Hey, good evening. Please, this is my mission. I don't know whether you have any information about any vacancy. Maybe a room I can rent. Unfortunately for her, somebody has just moved out of that house. And I told her, it's just a room. She said, oh, that we do. Okay, follow me. Let's go and see the landlord upstairs. And that's how she got a room there. I would confess something, that as time went on, I got home from work one day and my landlord called me and said, Ogun? I said, yes, sir. He said, you know, what your wife did to me today, no, I was going to angry with her. Get into talking. I said, did you? He said, no, because of you. I said, well, thank you for doing that. But for your information, she's not my wife. I just brought her to introduce her to you. But if you say she's my wife, and that's how God had written it, so it shall be, Baba. Please, you've given me that respect.
So be it.
I thank you for not getting angry. Now you know she's my wife, or you said it, and maybe God has signed to it. And that's the life. When she finished her course at Ireland Maternity Hospital in Lagos, she was ready to go back to her state, Bende, that time, to start work at University of Benin Teaching Hospital. But I said, hey, these feelings that has developed between us, if you go that far from Lagos, maybe initially you can be visiting. You know, you come this weekend, and next weekend I go to your place. But it will get to a time that, you know, lukewarmness may enter. She didn't like that. So what is the solution? I said, you trained in UCH Ibadan. Now you graduated, you can go and take an appointment there. And she agreed with me. And we both went to Ibadan. As a matter of fact, she only mentioned it to the necessary people she has to see that she has come back after the completion of her midwifery course in Lagos. And she would like to take up a job here. It's okay. You've gotten the job, but write an application right here on the principal of School of Nursing, you see. And that's how she got a job there. So we can, you know, Ibadan to Lagos, just about 45 to 50 minutes journey. And that's how we started. And thank God, we are still on the journey today. Thank you. This name is slow.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much, Daddy. I really appreciate that. Daddy, that time when you meet mommy is the time when when the tradition says that there is what they call alarino, and there is what they call you have to inform your parents, then alarino will come in between to go and tell the family of the woman. Then because then the man doesn't go to the. Do you went to mommy by say, you know, this thing, I want to marry you like the way we used to do now that we go on our news taking the ring and say, can you be my wife? Is that how the same way you do it that time, daddy? Or do you use alarino and stuff like that? The intermediary.
There wasn't any intermediary. There wasn't anything alarino because of the proximity. We are so close. She was living upstairs of the same building while I was living on a ground floor apartment. So, but we've agreed. Don't let me go to that nitty gritty of oh my house and that kind of thing. But we have to get the consent of our parents. Our parents, we are still alive. But first and foremost, I have to take her to my home in Ekiti. It was a bit of duel with my father before he agreed that, no, you are a prince.
I can imagine.
If you want 6 suitors before you return to Lagos tomorrow, Sunday, you will get them. I had to respectfully, told my father that, sorry, I don't want 6. I only want 1, and that one I have got. I just want your blessing. So the next day was that after some arguments further, I had to lie to him that, well, we've gone too far. We are already making arrangements, to get together as husbands and wives. So he agreed, but on one condition, that you come and see him and know him to his home, as we say it in Ekiti. So I said, sure. Next week and next weekend, we will come for me to come and introduce her to you. And that's what we did. Then after that, he asked one of my senior brothers to accompany me to her place and know her parents, which we did later. And, we consummate that. It was after this action, because you have to, as a matter of fact, somebody you intend to live the rest of your life with, you have to know a bit, I won't say all, about him or her. So that's what we did. We saw our parents. She took me to Warri and introduced me. And from Warri, we went to her hometown, Abiara, deep down in Sokoland, in that area. We just have to do that. And everybody from my part knew her before we got married. And everybody from her part, brothers and sisters, uncles and cousins knew me as their feature Ogome. Ogo. That is, and now me, my in-law to be. So I was happy about that. And it was after all these journeys, as a matter of fact, in those days, to travel, we went with, in Greyhound. There was this commercial vehicle, a bus there. Travel in Greyhound to Warri. From Warri, we took local transport to a town they called Ole. From there, we had, because of the road condition, we have to hire bicycles. So she rode one, I rode the second bicycle to Aviara, my hometown. In the Delta. So we went there to meet the people, show me to them, and by then the grannies were around and other uncles and brothers and sisters at home. That's how I became a Bendelite. You can call it that.
Daddy, thank you very, very much. This is one of the things that we are here on this program to do today, because we want the current generation to listen and the process, because marriage is not just happening in one night. It's a process. It's not happening at that wedding night. It's a journey that you have to go through it step by step, step by step. You can't jump the second step and go to the fifth step and think that things is good, things is work. Most of this current generation, some of them even start from the top, they want to start, instead of starting from the bottom, they start the tree from the top to the bottom. And that is why many marriage crash today, because they don't follow the due process. Daddy, I haven't got to the question of the day. I'm just laying the foundation. Let me hear from mommy. What is response like when daddy gets to your family in Isoko and they see that, oh, he's a prince from Emure and he's a Yoruba man? What is feeling like? Did they embrace it? Hey, he's a Yoruba spy, he's part of us. What did you have the contrary view, like daddy's dad said?
Well, before, yes, thank you very much. Before he and his brother came down, I had already gone home to inform my parents about him and all the necessary questions they had asked. I answered them. Of course, you know, being that I'm the firstborn of my parents and the first daughter, there's always this fear that if the first daughter takes a particular step, the ones coming behind are going to do the same by marrying non-natives, going to Yoruba land and all that. And even though Delta Bendel then was an old part of the old Western region, Yoruba language and culture did not spread to that side of the old Western region. So when you talk about going to marry a Yoruba man, it was like you are going to marry a German, somebody that they don't know anything about, and they are afraid, will their daughter be okay? So there was always that resistance from their part. But when parents find that your child has somebody who loves her, very soon they will mellow down and yield. But you know, it took a bit of convincing for them to agree for me to bring him to them. Because if you don't prepare the ground and you just bring somebody like that, he will not be well received. And that was already done by the time they came. So it was no longer news to them. They had gone through the period of doubting or trying to convince you or whatever to change your.
You already do your assignment. You
Yes.
already do your paperwork very well.
Yes. Yeah.
Bobby, one of the thing you tell them is that, hey, I love this man. You just have to accept this man as it is, because this is the only person. Is the thing you tell them.
Yes. My father even went on at the time he came with his brother. My father went to ask him some specific questions that eventually convinced him that yes, he loves my daughter. So my uncle said to my father, well, what else can you ask for? You can see that he loves your daughter and is ready to do this, did that, all the things you're asking. He was ready to do them. So, my father had to yield. He didn't have a choice than to yield, because he became convinced that this man loves my daughter through his questioning, his interactions with him, So thereafter, it became easy to plan a date and work towards the date.
Mommy, thank you very much for that. I don't wanna stretch it so much, because we have the time is running very fast, and I don't wanna bore you. Let you sit down for long as an older, an elderly person. Mommy, let's quickly go to the question of the day. I have 11 questions here that I want us to quickly look into before we call it a day today. How do you handle change and the unexpected in your marriage? The question can be taken by any woman, whether dad or mom. Anyone can take it. But how do you handle change and unexpected things in your marriage?
Okay, thank you very much. Change is something that people expect all the time. We expect changes to take place, either positively and sometimes, unfortunately, negatively. The kind of changes we expect all the time, we want change that make us happy, make us grow in relationship. But sometimes the unexpected, you find that most of the unexpected changes that come are things that bring about disagreement in relationships. So when that happens, of course, if it is positive change, we just glide over it and we don't even recognize it. We just carry on business as usual. But if it's negative change, then the need to have to sit down and talk it over, expressing your displeasure. Whoever is not happy about that change should express the displeasure and make himself or herself be willing to discuss. So you go into discussion about the change, that this change, I'm not happy about it. You have to express it. Then you have to discuss it. And you have to work out how you can change it again for better. Either that change, something that can arrest it or stop it, and so that you can now turn the clock back onto the positive side that you expect. That is how we handle change. If you don't discuss when unpleasant changes come, then they go on to mount up on each other. And then in the end, you will find that you begin to drift apart. But once you handle those changes well and you discuss them, and the offending thing is dealt with, and then you move on after that, then you'll find that your relationship will remain solid. So thank you. That's how we handle change, I would say.
Wow. I'm not going to. I'll just throw the question, but daddy or mommy can end of the question because of our time. Because I know when mommy talk, mommy actually talk on behalf of dad. So let me throw this question to dad, because it's a kind of question that is more affecting men. Daddy, how do you handle disagreement with each other?
Yeah, disagreement actually will come on or come up at one time or the other between two different human beings. But the base has been built that, okay, if Baba is angry or my husband is angry about a thing, she will not argue at the same time I was angry. That's when, if somebody is angry, as a matter of fact, what I want to say is that when one person is angry and the other one doesn't, get angry at the same time with you, one would be, will look stupid to continue to get angry on the particular issue. But when your temperature comes down, then you can say, okay, let's talk about this. As a matter of fact, in our own case, we don't, if anything happens at all, like I love my food, and I come back from work, unless she's, apart from the time she was nursing our baby, I know how to cook. I take it up. I'm saying this in her presence to let you know that I'm not trying to.
Sometimes you cook.
I cook. I'm an Ekiti boy, Ekiti Baraku. So I cook. Even up at this age, I can still pound yam that you will eat and you come back again tomorrow. So when we talk over the disagreement and whatnot, we always come to a consensus and say, okay, if she is the one that is at fault, so she speak her Yoruba language the way she used to speak it, and I would laugh. Once I laugh, and that's how I thank you. That's how we are, we started with, the life.
Daddy,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Sorry, Daddy. Daddy, sorry to cut you on that, but how often do you normally have disagreements? How often do this happen?
Well, it's something rare. We rarely disagree, because I will tell you something to let you know that those who know us, the day we were leaving Canada to return to Nigeria, some Yoruba friends made what do we call it now? Send off party for us. And one of them spoke that, where you see Wale, that's me, Adebowale, and you ask a question from him, the reply he will give to that question later, if you see the wife, Alice, is the same answer or the same explanation she will give, that they know us as, like I used to say, big nifa, karawa tele. That's how we live our life. Then it is today, and we thank God for it. So we rarely have any occasion that would cause a disagreement or that kind of thing. Even to the extent that
thank you very much, Daddy. I'm making it
snappy. Okay.
I'm making it so snappy because of the time so that I can be able to cover the question. We already spent exactly 1 hour on this program, and it doesn't look as if that we already spent up to 1 hour. I just want to use this time to welcome everyone joining us. This is the Africa Radio TV International coming to you live from Pretoria, South Africa. Please, if you are joining us, please share. Get your own point out of it. And if you want to call me, you can call me on +277-033-584. You can join the conversation. What do you want to know? Do you have any question? Put it on the on comments space, or you can call me on +277-033-584. It's your one-stop media house where everyone have a say. God bless you as you are joining us. Mommy, let me quickly cut you on this because it's very important. How much do you value the time you spend together versus the time apart? Daddy already said something regarding that, but I just want to, how much do you value time being together versus the time apart?
Okay, thank you very much. The earlier years of our marriage, we were very, very close. We did everything together. Wherever you see him, you will see me. We were everywhere together. And we enjoyed our togetherness. When we close from work, I just want to go home. He too, when he closes from work, he wants to go home. And a lot of times, even when we relocated to suburb, he forget to do what he should have done. He's just coming home. He just wants to be home. And that wanting to be together kept us going for many years. And so when Nigeria's situation changed and we now had to live apart because I had to go abroad, to get the family plan, going, it became more important to keep in touch. So we had to then, telephones were not available. I would send my duty roster to him. We will talk the day we are going to call. I'm going to call from Saudi Arabia. And we look forward to that, those times when I'm going to call him. And he will stay and wait for my call. So we were in touch all the time, always discussing, always. So there was we didn't allow gaps, So by the time we now meet, we already know where we are in our relationship because we are talking all the time. We are discussing our plans. We are working out our plans. And going home was, it became a new and pleasant experience because you're looking forward to being together again. And when that happens, we enjoy the best we can until it's time to go again. And we did that for many years and found that rather than relationship drifting apart, we were still very much together. So it was memorable.
That is before the relationship, you firstly need to be friend of each other, because the friendship, when you are friend of to each other, even when you go into the marriage, the friendship that you have would make that marriage more strong and more valued. Because a lot of people today, they are not friends, they are just a lover. They are not firstly be friends before they become a lover. So they just become a lover, they just enjoy whatever they want to enjoy, but they are not friends. So little things happen, differences, or they have to stay apart. The man needs to cheat or the woman needs to cheat because of the distance and stuff like that. But because they are friends and they've been friends onset before they got married, that keep them going. Even if there is a distance between them, they can still manage themselves talk to each other on the phone, and looking forward to meet each other physically. Thank you very much, ma. I love that. Thank you. I think the generation is learning something from me. Please, just this is the marriage of over 50 years, and you have a lot of things to learn from it. You are just one day in marriage and you are already thinking of quitting. You are just 3 years in marriage, you are thinking, oh well. You are just 10 years in marriage, you're tired. You need your space. I need space. I just need my space. Which space? Where are you going to? I need my space. I need my space. To where? Oh, you learn from the best. Learn from the people that believe in what we call love today is lost, and that is why we see a lot of people today, they sink in the hole of the marriage because they start the marriage with lies. Everything about them is on lies and based on lust. Some people married because of the beauty. Some marry the man because of the money, material things. Some marry because of the man is tall and have a lot of egos. The man is having six pack. The woman is tall and she's slim. The woman she starts giving birth. Now she's fat. Now the man is things that is causing most of the problem in our marriage, which I'm still going to share with our fathers on the program. But mommy, let me check this with mommy. Mommy, what inspired you to marry daddy?
I think, during the period when you are just friends, not really lovers, you are noticing certain things about a person. You get to know a person through how the person talks, what the person says, and what the person does. And in that process, you get to develop some level of trust in him. And trust only comes where what is before you is the truth. So if somebody is truthful all the time, and you get to trust the person, and when the person says something, he stands by it and he does it, and it is so. You just find that you now begin to build trust, and relationship is built on trust, truthfulness, and trust of each other. So that trust, that transparency, that I could depend on what he says, and he will stand by it. That is what convinced me to say, yes, I think I can marry this man. Because for me, it is impossible to live with somebody who is not truthful. And once trust is destroyed, relationship is gone. So I think what inspired me to marry him is the fact that I could trust him. And I also believe he trusted me too, because if your principle of life is truth, then you are not likely to do things that will destroy that trust which you cherish. And that is my answer to that question. Thank you.
Wow. Daddy, you already say a bit of it, but there's something that you didn't spell out, and I want you to blow the trumpet on that. Daddy, what inspired you to marry mommy?
Just in relation with what she had just said, first, don't forget that we were co-tenants. From co-tenants, we developed these feelings for each other. Then we started studying one another, the behavior, the interaction, your species, so many things. And we see that we are compatible if we take a higher step. And that's what gave me the confidence to go and tell my dad, even though I was an adult, but my father enjoyed that respect, to say, Dad, I'm somebody I want to marry, and I want your blessing on that. Even though he was ready to give me 6 instead of 1 wives, but I convinced him that no, you will love the person I'm going to marry, but just give your sanction and your blessing on it. And that's what he asked for. And we did that. And likewise on her side, her people received me warmly. And that's, the trust had been built right away from even when we don't know anything about ourselves before. So that's why we went on. And the trust, like you said yourself, the friendship is still going on. I married my friend, and my friend became my wife. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Daddy. Elizabeth. Good afternoon. This is Jan. Thanks for the protection of your marriage up to this anniversary. I wish you many more years to come. Thank you. Amen. This is Elizabeth Kumalo. Elizabeth Kumalo is sending a message to you, Dad and Mom, and she's greeting you. The greeting from Elizabeth. Elizabeth Kumalo, thank you very much. You are co-host of this program. The more to me, the more to continue on this program. Please keep sending those comments. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it, Kumalo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless you, Kumalo. Keep watching it. Keep sharing it. Daddy and Mommy, I just want to get to one of the that I want to apologize for. Important that I spell it the way it is. Mommy, how do your keys fit into your marriage? That is one. And how do you get, don't let me ask that now. Let me quickly deal with that. The issue of the children. How do you manage yourself when children start coming? How was it? Mommy?
Well, I always say that marriage itself might not change a person, but having children definitely changes a person, because that is where you really need to adjust the way you've been doing things. You now have to create room for both the child and your spouse. So when kids come in, it becomes a new challenge, and you begin to, what is essential in managing the arrival of kids is the willingness to share. You are sharing your time now. Before you were sharing it with one person, you are now going to share yourself and your time, your resources with more people. So once you have that at the back of your mind, then it's not difficult to do the giving. And it is that giving and willingness to share that enables people, a couple, to manage the arrival of children without it being a problem. It should be a blessing and not a problem.
Yeah.
So the two people work together, in that giving process. Not giving to the child and leaving neglecting the spouse. You have to balance the two of them. And when people failure to balance that is what make some husbands not even want to go home, because all the attention is on the child, no more on him. So I think it's balancing them and ensuring that you share out your time equally between them, because your spouse is your first child, and then another child comes, so you don't neglect your first child. That's the way it is. Thank you.
Mommy, I like your response to that. Is there any time the kids cause problem in your marriage?
No, and there's no reason for that, because a mature woman would know how to discipline her children in the first place, and would only take to the father where she feels that father needs to step in. where she believes that at this particular thing this child has done, the father needs to know to increase the level of discipline, then you have to inform him. If not, most of the problem of kids are already absorbed by their mothers and dealt with. And it is the mother who is monitoring how the kid is responding to the training she is providing. And then when she needs it topped up, she will tell the father, who steps in and does that. And both of them are talking the same thing to that child. You don't talk different things. You know, if the child is wrong, both mother and
Different
father
thing.
must, it is wrong. Yes. So that is it.
Mommy, let me come in there, because that is where the mommy, sorry that I cut you there, because this is where the 21st century marriage comes in. When the father is saying A, the mother is saying Z. The mother is telling the father, you can't be saying that to that child. You remember, it's my child. And we are living in a generation whereby the mother only value the child. When the child comes in, the mother pick all the attention on the children. She doesn't ask the husband, have you eat this morning? No food for husband in the morning, that this is your food. She doesn't even care whether the husband eats, husband doesn't eat. As long as my child, all I want. If you don't eat, you are adult. Go and cook. There's food in the fridge. Go and warm the food. Mommy, those are the kind of decisions that we are having right now in this current generation. This have caused many marriage. It have bring the broke up or problem, or even killed. Losing lives in marriage because of this kind of issue. Mommy, what is your advice for the current generation regarding this?
Thank you very much. My advice to them is to see, if you are the woman, see your spouse as your first child. You've been with your spouse, no matter what, it will take about 9 months before the next child comes in. So you already have somebody you are caring for, because you when you got married, you chose to love, to care, and to cherish. So if you've been doing that and another child now comes in, you can't abandon somebody that you cherish. Anything you cherish, you care for it. Therefore, so if you see your husband as a woman as your first child, the second one comes, you won't make food for your first child, second child, and leave the first one. You would make food for everybody, including your husband, because he's part of that household. He's the senior child. So you don't prepare food and forget, because it's my children. No. That is not a right approach to things. I do admit that there are challenges in today's life that were not in our time. But this is where both the husband and wife must work together. If a woman is left to work from, she has 4 kids, 5 kids to look after, and she wakes up very early and she's made to work like a slave because there are no helpers till 11 p.m. And she's going to go to work the next day, definitely she's not going to have time to look after the man. They will begin to drift apart. But if the man would see where he can render help to make things easier for her, then they will have time together. Both of them will have time together. I think that is where the problem is. It's not really in the kids. It's not the arrival of the kid, but failure to adjust their ways so that they can still continue to have time together that they cherish between them.
Wow, mommy, thank you. I love this point. The question 7 is PG 18. Parents' discretion is needed. If you are not up to 18 years old, if you are below 18, please, question number 7 is not. You need to close your ear. Mommy, let's talk a bit. I just want to be real. How do you get sexual need met? Most especially because it's one of the things that people shine away from. People don't want to talk about it. How do you get that done? How do you make sure that even though that it gets to go, you go to work, you're a career woman. I mean, with your introduction, you already let us know that you are a career woman. You're working in the hospital. You already work. Your back is already, you standing, attending to patients the whole day. Now getting home. How do you balance that?
Well, as far as the sex life is concerned, you know, sex is actually an act which can be done even in the absence of love. It is just sex. But sex in marriage is an act of giving of yourself to your spouse. And you cannot do that where you are in the midst of rifts here and there, arguments here and there, disagreement here and there. And that was why I said that it has to be, I mean, you have, in a marriage, you must keep your disagreement to the barest minimum. And you must sort them out as fast as possible, not letting disagreements to linger on. If you keep your relationship that of love, then the desire to have sex will be there. The desire to have sex will be there. When you have a situation where the other person is not caring, is not showing love, doesn't care whether it is a husband or is a wife, two of them will not have that bond to want to have sex. And sex under such condition will just be like somebody you just pay to have sex, or a duty, rather than the giving of yourself to that person. And that's the way to go about it. First, if you must have sex that satisfies both of you, then you must work on keeping your love alive. That is what will make you not resent each other. Once you keep your love alive, you keep wanting to be with each other in the presence of each other, sex will take place. If you don't do that, and you don't want to be in his presence, he doesn't want to be in your presence, then you cannot be expected to be having sex. It will not happen. The sex will now become, rather than it's becoming something to cement them, it will become something that will make them fight. And that should be avoided.
Wow. Well, thank you, mommy. I like very, very much. I hope I'm learning, and I hope others are something out of this as well, because being a career woman doesn't say that your husband. That is what mommy is establishing. Being a career woman doesn't say that you make sure that you punish your husband. I'm not going to give it to you, and you dare not try to force me to do it. So, but if there is a love and understanding, career will not come in between your sex life, because it's one of the things that keep the union together. This question, I'm going to send it to Daddy, and because it's a financial thing, which I know that is one of the weakening points of men. Daddy, let me go to question number 9 before I 8. Do you operate separate accounts, or to share all your assets, like the way it's happening this time around? They say is under the oath of community, or what is it called? Then it's 50-50. The marriage today, they operate on 50-50, the account and everything, all those kind of a thing. Daddy, how do you see that, and how do you manage to balance that in your marriage?
Thank you. As a matter of fact, never given it a thought, because it doesn't operate in my union with my wife. Whatever I have belongs to my wife, and by extension to our children. And whatever she has belongs to me and the rest of the team. The fact is that in our life, we've never done anything separate. Right from the beginning of our relationship, we always talk, especially when it gets to buying or building a house, which we intend to make home. We talk about it. I will tell you, apart from the first house we have, the second one, because that was far from town, I drew a sketch of the type of building I want us to have. She was in Saudi Arabia then. I had to send this one or post it to her to put in sketch or sketch form what she wants in a home. Because as a matter of fact, the home belongs to the wife. She's the mother of all in the house, including the husband. That's my belief, and that's how we operate. If I'm not around, if any of our children needs anything, she takes the challenge up and supply that. It's not, I believe in this Yoruba that says, kókùnrin réjò, kóbìnrin pa, kéjò má ṣáà ti lọ.
Kóbìnrin pa, kéjò ṣáà ti bá lọ.
So we do things together, and as a matter of fact, even the closest friends.
As long as the snake doesn't escape.
Exactly. They don't know who does what. If we bring a car in, nobody knows who pays for it. Whether it's me or it's my wife, it's our car. That is how we operate till today. And we have grown up children that can attest to that. And I'm grateful for what she's been doing in my life. She too is happy to have me as life partner. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Daddy. God bless you, Daddy. I appreciate you, and I learned a lot of lesson in that. That there is nothing like 50-50. There's nothing like this is yours. There's nothing like doing something behind the husband. You know, some women will be building house, the husband doesn't aware of it. Some women will be having money in their account, and the children is the hospital on a died point. They need 5,000. I was reading in the news that a man, because they need just naira for the hospital bill, and the woman didn't provide it until the child died. And after the child died, they realized that the woman have over 10 million naira in accounts.
What?
So those are the kind of a thing that because they say that women love money. Women love money. You don't have money, you can't satisfy women. But in your own case, you let us know you didn't say anything. So there is nothing like own money. This is my own money. You work together as a team, and you achieve things together as a team. Your time, holidays. When you go on holidays, do you normally travel on holiday? And what is the experience like during your holiday time?
Yeah.
Well, our holidays, we spend our holidays together. Oh, Daddy. Okay.
Okay, mommy can take it.
Holidays?
Mommy can take it, it's fine. It's actually for mommy. Can take it.
But you can take it.
Well, the holiday, when we have holidays, we spend our holidays together. We were fortunate to have traveled to civilized world very early in our marriage. So we grew to know the value of, holidays. to the extent that even when we returned to Nigeria after he studied in Canada, we would drive to a neighboring country for a weekend. So we appreciate spending time together as holidays. And we are a couple that never use our holiday to do jobs or extra work or whatever. We just enjoyed togetherness whenever it's holiday. That's how we spent our holiday, and we still do till today. Unless something that cannot be helped. If we cannot help the situation, that's the only time you will see us apart. We're always spending our time together.
Wow. Thank you, Mommy. And let me recognize people that is commenting. Additional Lukman, I have learned a lot from this program. Patient, tolerant is what I have benefited from. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. And Joseph Omotayo Lagere say, we give God the glory. 50 years together, faithful God. Thank you very much. You are the co-host of this program. Your comment means so much to me. Keep sending those comments. Keep sending the comment. The petrol this show is using to move fast. The more the show move faster, and I really appreciate you. Thank you very, very much, those of you that you are commenting. Thank you. God bless you. Daddy, before we call it a day, I have about 2 questions before we round up this section, this hour. And one of the questions say, do we agree on the division of labor or in our home? Do you agree on division of in your home or in your marriage?
No, in the sense that we help each other. Like I said, being the last born of my mom, I knew early in my days how to do housework. So, depending on the available time, when I'm home, when I'm around, there isn't anything I don't do in the house, including carrying dirty linen, dirty clothes or whatever to wash in the washing machine and do that. Like I said, even up to this age, there's no food I cannot cook if she's not up to it. And no, we do everything together. Let me say that. Those who know us, we attest to this. Like I said, Big Bimbasa.
Thank you, Daddy. Daddy, I like that response. And I'm also guilty. I'm also guilty on that, and I need to repent. I need to repent. This is your own. This is your own aspect. You must do the washing while I am sweeping the ground. You must be the one to. So they already share the work. You want to wake up the children and bath the children while I'm going to. So there's nothing like that. You do everything in love. You do. People listening to this program get something out of this. You can be together for 80 years. My father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they are still together for the last 70, close to 65 years now. Close to 65 years now. They are still together as husband and wife. Just getting a report from them now. They are still together. Does that mean that they don't have differences? Does that mean they don't have problems? Does that mean they don't have challenges? They do, but they manage themselves. Manage each other, ability to believe in each, ability to see each other as part. You are part of me. There is nothing that can separate us. That is the mentality that we need to have as this generation. Enough of divorce. We have high rate of divorce in our generation today. As a matter of fact, the year of courtship is more longer than the year of marriage. The year they spend in courtship is now longer than the year of marriage. They have courtship, they enjoy themselves in the courtship, but when they get to the marriage, they cannot take it anymore. Well, and the divorce. And we are standing to say no to that. No to that. We have great man and woman house. They are together for the last 42 years and they are still standing. This is a great picture that we need to actually put before to embrace our marriage and to make it work. And the second to the last question is going to go to mommy. And the last question is going to go to both. And that is, when do you feel the most love? When do you feel the most love from daddy? Probably when you got your first child. And when do you feel the most love? Like, wow, I thank God that I met this man. I think the question should go to the both side because it's a question that doesn't need to say yes. And my mommy and dad.
Thank you for that question. Um, sometimes we don't appreciate things until something happens. It is when somebody, you find yourself in a situation where maybe you can't even help yourself, and your spouse shows you he cares. He shows you he cares about you, not just turn his back. Like if somebody is sick, for instance, is not able to do certain things, and somebody reaches out, somebody you expect to love you, shows you that, oh, he can make things better for you, definitely you feel very much loved at that point in time, much more than when it was just ordinary. So people feel most loved at their time of need, at their time of difficulty. They feel most loved. That you find you are not alone. And these are things that money cannot buy. Money cannot make somebody love another person. It is the care we give that makes that person feel loved, feel that you love the person, and you feel happy that you are loved also. So it's not a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Daddy, is that say your mind or you have something contrary?
Exactly. She has spoken my mind.
Daddy.
And, we thank God for our lives, especially our union. She has spoken my, like I said, as far back as 1978, people can identify the two of us as one. When we're leaving Canada to come to Nigeria, then again, we've traveled around the world, and the people whom we've interacted with see us as one. When you see Emmanuel, you see Alice. Where you see Alice, you see Emmanuel. And we've understood each other, and we don't do things that will make the other feel sorry in this marriage or in this union. At least so far, we thank God for it. And I will tell you one other thing, that I can delegate her to go and represent me anywhere. I say anywhere. I have that confidence in her. I trust her to that extent. And like I said, those who know us will attest to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Daddy. Daddy, this last question is more funny and it's more childish. I want to take you back to the time, if you reflect, when you reflect back on your childhood and early stage of what memories bring the most joy and which bring the most pain? Do you have any of those that you us?
Childhood memories. As a child, the children are not focused on anything really in particular. So they are just happy, jolly fellows, just play around, you know, they don't have a burden. So when you're looking back, you say, is when you are actually grown, you begin to value the time you had as a child. They don't, at that time, they mean nothing really. It's just growing up, just play. So memory of childhood is always something. Uh, uh, for me, I I cherish the time I spent with my grandmother in the village. Until today, I still long to go there and maybe just walk the streets of my hometown, which I did recently. I still went there because of those childhood memories uh, of the days there before I was relocated to Warri at age of 10. So what it gives me joy to relive those moments then of childhood. Um, so that's what I
I
can
mean,
say.
okay, I mean, what is kind of the thing you can remember out of the thing you used to do in those days? What is one of the things you can share with us? Probably the kind of day, and I wanted to also a bit of your local language that you grew up to hear or to speak with your parents. Please, mommy, just share that as well. I know mommy still understand that language fully. I just the bit of you then. What was the? I mean, like myself now. I remember when we used to do Area Shupa. The Area Shupa is one of the things that is still always ringing in my mind to today. That there is no electricity in our area. We are living in a kind of environment whereby when the NEPA took light and we were together in the balcony of our the moon and we'll be singing omi yoyo òṣùpá ìrọ̀lẹ́ àṣálẹ́ àtùpà òru gànjọ́. I mean, stuff like that. I still want to go back to that kind of thing. Let me come up the language with us before I go to that.
Yeah, language wise, I mean, I may not be so good in doing that. It's a language I still understand. I understand it, but in terms of speaking it, because I left where the language was spoken at a very early age. So the grasp of it in speaking, I lost part of the skills. But the memory that I said I had in village life is when Christmas, how it used to be in those days, the early days. In my hometown, the week of Christmas to New Year was public holiday for everybody. No going to the farm. Everybody got ready for Christmas, and it was just fantastic. All the food you are going to use for the whole week until back to farm, they got them ready at home. So by the time, and then the whole town had like annual entertainment. So they go to town center and different sectors of the village, they bring their group to entertain the village people. It was a very wonderful time, then. Those memories, they still remain with me because by the time I now relocated to Warri, it was a different form from how it used to be in the rural area. So it was a memorable time. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Do you remember of any pain? Any time remember that bring pain? Anytime because when we're talking about the good side of it, we're talking about the one that is also not pleasant. Do you remember of any?
Pain. What pain does a child? What pain does a child? No, a child doesn't really. The memory of a child also is very short. You know, and then as you grow older, even the things that you thought were painful then, you no longer see them as painful, so you forget really. So I cannot remember any painful thing that I didn't
Memory.
suffer any kind of specific trauma or specific loss or something like that. No. So, that is the thing. Not
Wow,
that
wow, wow. Thank you, mommy.
there might have been some, but I cannot remember any that I can recall.
Recollect them now.
Mm.
Okay, mommy. Thank you, mommy. Thank you. I appreciate that, mommy. Daddy, let's please share with you. I know you grew up in Emure Kitty. And you enjoy your pounded yam, and I have opportunity to from Ekiti, and I live. I have time to go and do some training in Ado Ekiti, and I spend more time. I love Ekiti. From my childhood, when I hear anything Ekiti, naturally, I don't know why. I get excited when they say Ekiti. I got excited. Anything Ekiti make me excited. I don't know why. It's just natural thing. And when I start growing up as a man, I decide I want to be going to Ekiti. So I used to go to Ado Ekiti. Then when we are at university, I live in Ibadan. I travel to UNAD just to go and spend time with my friends in UNAD because I love everything about Ekiti. And I go around and see how people live in the Ekiti state where, in Ado, in the evening by 4 o'clock, you'll be hearing po, 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 po. Everywhere is po, po. Everybody is pounding yam. From 4 o'clock, by 6 o'clock, everybody already ready for dinner. And where I came from in Ibadan, we don't eat dinner until 10 o'clock in the night or 11 o'clock. But when I got to Ado, I realized that people eat 6 o'clock, they already eat dinner and they are about to go to bed. And I can't eat this early because if I eat by 9 o'clock, I will be feeling hungry again to eat another food. So those are the experience that I have in Ekiti. In Ado that I really, really enjoy. I was in Ado. I was in the city next to Ado. I forgot the name now. I talk around all those areas. I know most of the places, Ekiti, Igede Ekiti, around and stuff like that. That is what is experience like if you want to talk about the child and your early stage in marriage.
You are looking at a proper Ekiti man here. Because no, people like Ekiti people for being frank. You tell it as it is. A lot of people think Ekiti people are stubborn. We are not.
Difficult.
Difficult, that kind of thing, but we are not. We only stand on the truth. And an Ekiti man can die telling the truth. We don't know how to majority, but not well nowadays. While I was growing up, if maybe I engage in fight or quarrel with somebody, I say Oduemure, which is far from where I was. My father's house was at Okemure. Somebody can come and report me to my father that your son has turned into a street fighter, which of course doesn't give any good name. And I will be reprimanded by my dad. Don't show yourself as a tyrant. And there won't be any grudge towards the person who came to report me. But as kids, you can fight, you can then this minute and next minute we become friends again. I don't know. That is how far I can tell you when I was growing up. But the moment I got to the age 14 when I started schooling rather, all those the indiscipline behavior were cured, and staying in boarding house for 5 years really prepared me for the world. And now, at my age, I can't even exchange anything, any harsh word with anybody again. So I'm friendly with everybody. Call me demigod, but I will say or remain on the truth. You know, that's how I live my life till now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Daddy. I appreciate you. Everyone listening to us. Thank you, Julia. Julia Winston say we give God glory, and Dad. Thank really that, and to the man that actually orchestrates all this together today. I want to say thank you to the community leader and one of the love of this house. And I mean, his full name is Adeshina Lukman Adebowale. I want to appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much for putting this together. Thank you for giving us opportunity to have this conversation with Dad and Mom. We really appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. Dad, Mom, I want to thank you. This is where we'll be drawing the queen to say goodbye. And I have Bumi Alabi also coming in. Very to have parents like this. Thank you very much, Bumi Alabi. I really appreciate that. Keep sending those comments. Those comments means a lot to me. Keep sending them. Let's celebrate this great that among these great parents in the house with us all the way from Emurekiti, based right here now in South Africa. We celebrate you by the grace of God. We will be celebrating their 50 years in marriage in a few days to come. So I celebrate you on the African this time. Congratulations, Ma. Congratulations. We celebrate you. So happy you are the role model, and we are looking up to you. And we know that the same God that assists you, the same God that make it easy for you to walk this path and achieve this greatness, the same God we help us as well, and the same God we uphold us as well, and the same God we also uphold you to the very end. I really appreciate it. And additional look Adebowale, I celebrate you, sir. I really, really appreciate it. And if you say glory to God, thank you very, very much. You are highly welcome. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And I want to very, very much to I want to show their love. Please kindly send your comments to the comment space, or you can call me on +277033384. I have 3 minutes to take calls. So anybody that wants to greet Dad and Mom, you can call me on +27703338584. I will definitely give you opportunities. You can call on WhatsApp or direct call. If you are outside South Africa, you can call, or you can just put +27703338584. If you have, if you want to call to celebrate this great man and women of our time, I leave the line open for you to do so in the next couple of minutes. After 3 minutes, if I don't see anyone call in, I will definitely end and I will put the program to an end. But if you want to join the conversation, you want to celebrate these great men and women on the program, I have somebody calling in right now, and I will celebrate you, sir. You are one of the great people that I respect. I respect what you are doing currently. A word for Dad and Mom.
Can you come again, please?
I just want to celebrate Dad and Mom. You have to tell them. What do you want to say to them?
No, to be very honest, highly impressed. Very happy. And very close to them. Seated watching them. Admiring them. I've taken enough pictures of their different motion, and I in fact, we're still going to do 60 very soon, and 70 to come, 80 to come.
Amen.
By the grace of God, we're going to lead long.
Amen.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to have this thing. Even though I have to speak to them, to understand that they can beautiful and beautiful, wonderful. I know they are very private set of people, but I say, you know what?
It has to be exposed.
It has to be exposed because people want to learn. And guess what? A friend of mine who, in fact, she's already invited for the anniversary for this weekend, and she said, you know, I was on the MC somewhere, and I actually used Daddy and Mommy to discuss, and people started putting prayer across them, using our persistence in marriage to pray, because they know marriage sometimes works for 1 month, 2 weeks. In fact, sometimes the very day of which you see already scatter. And I also want to say something. People should not make marriage arrangement for their children. They should to go to where
they want to
work for.
Wow.
Because people like to I'm already new my fair, the family. And from there you see we've seen a lot of marriages that have collapsed.
Indeed.
Just because of that.
Indeed.
So I think that's another thing. Because the how John was predestined and they managed to make it. He actually facilitated their journey. It was just done by the grace of God. So all your questions, the way they answer it, you see it comes very natural.
Exactly. And that is one of the things that I celebrate about them, experience. Yes. And I mean, this have helped a lot of generation, because this is not going to be only for today. Clips is on YouTube. This program is live on our website, www.theafricanportal.co.za, also on our YouTube and on our Facebook. You can go there even in 10 years' time. We still call it back and still remember what Dad and Mom told us. So this is like a book that we need to be reading and we need to be checking out on for us as we are going in the journey of life. Sir, I want to appreciate you for your effort. I want to say thank you to you and God bless you, sir. Remain blessed as we are coming to the end of the program. From here, switching back from the speaking the English, switching back to the Yoruba. Anything better Yoruba? Ojo ni ti yin bajo ni ba yin mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yẹn má bínú wípé dé èbó ni mò ń sọ látàárọ̀ ẹ mọ̀ pé ká yìí kọ́mọ́ ti gbófo náà ni. Àwọn bàbá àti màmá ní ń bẹ lójú òpó ètò yìí tí mò ń ṣe wọ́n ní pẹ̀lẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe wọ́n ní wò tí mò ń fi ọmọlúwàbí fi ń wọ̀ wọ́n. Bàbá wọ́ láti Èmùrè Èkìtì ní bàbá Èkìtì kété bàbá ojú òní tì yín àgbà yóò dalẹ̀ lágbára Èdùmàrè àgbò ní tán lórílẹ̀ lágbára Èdùmàrè bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wá sórí òpó ètò yìí gbogbo tí ń ṣe ti yín gbogbo ilé yín ọ̀nà yín ọ̀hún yóò bá yín pa ìdúró ayọ̀ mi kó pé mo lórí láti bá yín ní ìfọ̀rọ̀jomitoro ọ̀rọ̀ yìí wọ́n máa fèyí dágbére kúrò lójú òpó ètò yìí lálẹ́ ti tòní lọ́sàn-án ti tòní ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ ti tòní gbogbo tó bá wù tó bá bọ́ sí lọ́dọ̀ yín. Mo kí ọmọdé mo kágbà obìnrin mo káṣán dí akíyín tẹ̀ṣọ́ akíyín tológun gbé tí wọ́n fẹ́ pè ẹ lè pè sójú òpó tẹ́ fẹ́ polówó ọjà ẹ máa gbọ́jà yín bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa náà ní iléeṣẹ́ rédíò ẹlẹ́rọ àmìtìtì lórí òkè Waterkloof flower nílùú Victoria ẹ máa gbé bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa kẹ́ wá polówó ọjà yín. Àjọṣe kò ní dojú Daddy àti Mommy wọn ò jẹ́ sọ Yorùbá kí wọ́n èdè èbó la fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà la fi parí. Ẹ jẹ́ kẹ́ sọ Yorùbá kẹ́ dágbére fáwọn èèyàn wa kẹ́ sì bá ń súre fáwọn èèyàn. Àwọn Yorùbá ò ní ká súre ẹ bá ń súre fáwọn èèyàn wa kẹ́ sì súre fẹ́mi náà àti iléeṣẹ́ yìí.
Ẹ ṣeun lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Olúwa máa dúró tì yín, iléeṣẹ́ yín á máa ròkè. Ojú wa ò ní kọ àtúnrí. Gbogbo àwọn tí ó fetí balẹ̀ láti gbọ́ àtúntò tá à ń ṣe látàárọ̀, ẹ̀yin náà ẹ wà ní ipò tó dáa. Ẹ̀yin náà ọjọ́ yẹn á dalẹ̀. Ọlọ́run ò ní fi àtúká sínú ìgbéyàwó tẹ́ ti ṣe lọ́jọ́ tó pẹ́ àti eléyìí náà. Mo fi àsìkò yìí pé àwọn èwe ìwòyí kó tó di pé a yan ọkọ tàbí a yan aya, ẹ jẹ́ á yẹra wa wò ká kọ́ ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ náà kó tó di pé à ń di olólùfẹ́, kó tó di pé a kúrò lólùfẹ́ à ń di ọkọ àti ìyàwó. Bí a ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní nǹkan bí 50 ọdún ó lé méjì. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run pé a ṣì wà pọ̀. ẹdìyẹ mi ó ṣe ń jẹ àgbàdo ṣe gan púpọ̀ àtúmàtúnra rí o. Thank you.
ẹ ṣe ogun dádì ojú òní ti yìí
Àmì o.
àìsíro ìgbà ọ̀rọ̀ ni mọ́mì mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ mọ́mì ẹ ṣojú dádì mọ́mì ẹni pé dádì ayọ̀ ń gẹ̀ sí ni ọlá mọ́mì nu ọlá bàtà ló ń módò ṣàn mọ́mì ojú òní mọ́mì ẹ dágbére fáwọn èèyàn wa kẹ́ ẹ gba àwọn ọ̀dọ́ òde òní yànjú.
Okay. Thank you so much. I want to say a big thank you to all of you that put this program together and give us opportunity to share a bit of our lives with you. Thank you, Mr. Dare Oluson, the producer of this program. You've done so much. And, I say a big thank you to you and well done. And I pray that as you are celebrating us today, your own marriage too will come and, to blossom, and you will be other people, including us, who are still there to celebrate you too. And I just want to wish all those people who have been watching us, I hope that they took one or two things from us. And I just want to add a word to the men that we marry, the young people who are getting married today, that it is very important for the man to take steps so that the roots of his marriage will be firmly set before other trials and other disturbances can set in. When those trials come, it is that foundation that was set that keeps it going, that prevents it from falling apart. And particularly those who are married from different tribes, different culture, they have another additional challenge on top of their marriage. And that additional challenge, it can only be corrected through the action taken by the man. And I also want to thank my husband that, looking back, that foundation was laid, because when we would go to his people and I didn't understand their language, I didn't know the culture, I couldn't be greeting and bending down 1,000 times a day, he protected me from the kind of attack that I would have received from his people. So he shielded me, and he was always the front rather than expose me before then that she doesn't know how to greet. And as you know, Yoruba land, if you cannot greet, you cannot fit in. So I thank him very much for that. And I hope that young men coming too will do the same and protect their wives and let their foot stand firm in that new home. I pray that all your marriages succeed in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Mommy. I appreciate you and I celebrate you, man. You are a great woman. Behind every successful man, there is a successful woman, and you are one of the great successful women. I appreciate you, and you are the role model for this generation. Ladies, please learn from her. Learn the humbleness, learn submissiveness, and learn the tolerance from her. Thank you very much, ma. Easy. If I should tell you to be open up, most of the things is not easy, but through it all, you are still standing, and I appreciate you for that. Daddy, thank you very much care of me. You are great father that we actually looking up to you. You are our role model, and you are the example. You are the figure. You are the father figure that. And I call on all the men. This is the time of the self-check and check yourself. Look at yourself. Where are you getting it wrong? What are you doing that is causing problem in your marriage? Cutting the head is not the solution to the egg. So look inwardly, and there is a solution to that marriage. I appreciate you. For those of you that you are going through challenges in your marriage and your marriage is about to collapse, you are experiencing problem, fighting on a daily basis in your marriage. I speak to that marriage that the blood of Jesus cover that marriage and bring peace back to that marriage. And I speak to everyone that is in one problem or the other right now, that God will send his angel to help and to support you. Amen. I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. This is the African Portal Radio TV International. I'm so excited. I don't feel like living this grateful because in the anointing longevity, I'm tapping the anointing of long life and prosperity. I'm tapping the anointing of the breakthrough and anointing of successful in marriage. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate you. It's in Bella. Ní mọ̀ fi máa dágbére fún yín pé ó dijọ́ mi ò dọ̀jọ́ rẹ̀ á máa fi ọ̀bẹ nú bẹ́ṣu ní àtẹ́lẹsẹ̀ á sì bẹ̀nà wẹ̀ ń bá ní amọ́bọ̀ nìkan là ní dé bá ń lé èmi náà ni ọmọ yín ọ̀rẹ́ yín olólùfẹ́ yín olúdá ìlú sọmọ olùṣọ́ àgùntàn Samuel Olúṣẹ́gun Olùsàn èmi lọ pápá dámọ́ ń tọ́ fọmọkùnrin bọ́lẹ̀bọ́lẹ̀ ọmọ sísú sọ̀rọ̀ kárí bí kọ́lé tí ọmọ ní ọjọ́ pàtí ń ṣe erukú lẹ́lẹ́ tó jó orí tiẹ̀ jẹ́ láti dé ìyá mi lòdì nípa bí ẹkùn bá bá mi ò sí nílẹ̀ ajá sọ tí bá ń bẹ́ńlẹ̀ adúmọ̀ fún mi jẹ ọmọ orí mo lùsì lèmi ọmọ ajé fọwọ́rẹ̀ ṣe tẹ̀ ìdí tí ó jẹ ìlú Ìjẹ̀bú gbó náà ni mo ti wá ìlú Ìbàdàn náà ti bí lọ́mọ Ìbàdàn ní Olúyọ̀lé ìlú Ìbíkúnlé alágbàlá ológodò kẹrí lójú ogun wọ́n lébọ̀ lẹ́yìn Jagunlabi ńlára wájú Ìbàdàn mọ́jà tó fi kára wájú tó fi kó wọn lẹ́rú ọmọ agbósásá mọ́sá ọmọ ayàyàyà mọ́yà nílùú Ìbàdàn tí mo ti wá dáńfò ní ṣiṣẹ́ rẹ̀ láì ní kọ̀ǹdọ́ tẹ bá rògbò ní kọ̀ǹdọ́ tó bá dún wájú ilé rẹ̀ fún iṣẹ́ ló mọ́ láò iṣẹ́ mọ́ ńlá nírọ̀lẹ́ òní mo ké tantan mo dìbò fẹ́ lomi Olúbọ̀mbọ̀ tìrì bọ̀m̀bọ̀ ire ayọ̀ àtàlàáfíà kó máa bẹ́ẹ̀ nìkan ọ̀kan wa gbé lówelówe náà lùlù àgídìgbò ọlọ́gbọ́n ní jó ìran àwọn ọ̀mọ̀ràn ní mọ́ ẹ̀yin ọ̀mọ̀ràn tẹ́ wọlé sójú òpó ètò yìí mo dúpẹ́ pé òkun lọ́wọ́ yín ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ ń bá wọn ròde ìbànújẹ́ ìbàjẹ́ òní wọlé wa bọ́dún ṣe ń lọ sópin yìí wọn ní fi ẹ̀mí yín dárú ọdún yìí ẹ̀ ní kú fọ̀tayọ̀ ò lágbára ìlú àbúgbẹ́ tó bá lérò òbí sí yín kí ló dàdé wọn lórí dádì àti mi ẹ pé bí mo pẹ́ ṣe ẹ fẹ́rì gìjòbì lágbára ìlú rẹ̀ oúnjẹ ọmọ òní kan lẹ́nu yín ọmọ òní kú lọ́wọ́ yín lágbára ìlú rẹ̀ ẹ̀ ní sunkún alẹ́ lágbára ìlú rẹ̀ ojú òní tì yín o wọ́n máa rí yín bá níre láyọ̀ àti lálàáfíà mo lérò pé tí bá pè yín jọ mi ẹ jẹ mi níwò.
Ó ti di dandan àjẹ́ yín. Thank you.
Daddy. God bless.
Thank you very much, Mom. I really celebrate you. I love you so much. God bless you, sir. I will see you by the grace of God at the event. God bless you, Daddy and Mommy, and enjoy this. It's special from me, and I dedicate it to Daddy. Daddy, I'm taking you right away from here back to Emure Ekiti, down to Chief Emmanul Ogunshemoyin Owoni Mapa Onani. Daddy, enjoy this.
Dual life. It's not dual life.